So the first step is the same for everybody. It's very simple and straightforward. This is the basic step that we're going to use kind of as the platform for all of the dancing. So our teaching team will demonstrate it with us. You're going to start with your left foot back. It's going to be a touch with that left foot back. Just a touch, not a full step where you transfer your weight. Then you're going to step forward a little bit on that left foot. Then you're going to touch forward with your right foot, and then step back with your right. Now, the Charleston, which is what we base this Schneida swing off of, each step is 2 beats. So it's kind of an 8-count dance. It goes well with a lot of songs. So it's going to be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's touch, step, touch, step. Left, left, right, right. Left, left, right, right. Touch, step, touch, step. Touch, step, touch, step. So I know that seems really simple, but we're going to go ahead and play some music just for this step, just so you can kind of get that basic beat down with a song, because everything is built off of this rhythm. It's by the end of the day, you'll be able to keep this step up in your sleep, carry on conversation, because every step builds off of this simple rhythm.
The biggest thing that you have to remember is the touch. You do not transfer any weight. You should be able to easily lift that foot up. It's just a touch. And then on the second one, you're stepping.
If you do transfer weight to that touch as you're learning other moves, it's just going to get you out of whack. It's just kind of, and this is a very loose dance. So if anybody else has done ballroom dancing like waltz or anything like that where you're real uptight and stiff, it's not like this at all. This is loose. You want to have some bend to your knees, some swing to your shoulders. It's very, not quite like that, but it's very relaxed and comfortable. So we're going to play some music, just like half a song, just to kind of get used to it, and then we'll keep moving. So just as you feel like you're ready to, just try to find that beat and find that step.
River strong, you can't swim inside it, we could.
So the first key part to Ballroom Hold is, gentlemen, you're going to take your left hand and hold it out for the ladies. Ladies, you'll put your right hand in his left hand. It's not a little princess hold like this or like some other ballroom dancing. It's kind of a firm grip, but it's not too hard of a squeeze. You want to be able to get your hand out when you need to go to do other moves. But just kind of a nice, gentle hold there. And then, gentlemen, your hand is going to go on the lady's back, not up too high on her shoulder. That's going to kind of wreck her shoulder there, make it very uncomfortable. Not down too low either, because it's harder to lead. You kind of want to be just underneath her shoulder blade. A key to this is to make sure that you have a good, firm touch on her back. If you're out here and you're just kind of counting on this hand, she's never going to be able to sense your lead. If you just have your fingertips on her back, she's never going to be able to sense your lead. So make sure you have kind of good, firm contact on her back so she can feel that lead.
You're going to almost want to put a little pressure on. It's not weird. We're dancing. That's just how it works. That's how you're going to have to lead other moves. So you're going to kind of want a little bit of pressure on her back with all of your hand.
And ladies, you'll kind of stay firm enough where he can give that pressure without accidentally pulling you. Gentlemen, obviously don't pull too hard and just yank her across the room. So, ladies, your right hand is going to go on his shoulder. You want your thumb on the front of his shoulder and your fingers kind of around the back, so that when he's moving, you can kind of feel how he moves as he walks and as he rotates. That'll really give you a good sense as he's leading. So when you're in Ballroom Hold, to start that basic step, gentlemen, you're going to do exactly what we just did, starting back on your left. Ladies, you're going to start halfway through the step. It's still the exact same step, but you're going to start by coming forward, touching forward on your right. So it's that touch, step, touch, step. Touch, step, touch, step.
Take small steps. You're close to the other person, especially the guys have a tendency to take big steps because they have longer legs. Don't step on the girl's toes, just take small steps.
And as you're doing this, feel free to kind of bounce a little bit in your shoulders and in your knees. That makes it a lot easier for you to be able to kind of find the beat with your partner. We are going to start some music, kind of practice that, and we'll come around and help. All right, that was a very good job. Everybody's definitely starting to get the hang of it. If you feel like you were kind of lost, don't worry. So the next thing with that is very simple. It's just walking. So you're in the exact same ballroom hold and taking the same steps, and you're just gonna walk with it. So the way that you walk with it, gentlemen, if you want to walk backwards, you're simply going to apply more pressure with the hand on her back and walk backwards. The key to this is to walk in the same time, walk in the same beat. Don't just all of a sudden just start walking, but keep the same beat as you walk with that basic. When I want to walk forward, or the ladies backward, like I just did, I'm going to ease up the pressure on her back and walk forward. A lot of it is signaled by her hand on the shoulder. So ladies, it's very important that you have your fingers kind of around the back of his shoulder and thumb in front, because then you'll feel, as he walks, you'll feel his shoulder move. A lot of the lead, you'll never know it's there, but a lot of the lead really does come from that. So as I want to walk forwards, I'm just gonna ease up that pressure, walk forwards, and then come back to that basic. When you come back to the basic, you're just really just kind of stopping and holding your hand at the same pressure that you used to. So the next move is very fun. Everybody likes this a lot, and it's not too difficult. So it's simply going from this basic step here and spinning the lady out, back in, and coming back into the basic. Now, if that looks scary, we're gonna walk through it step by step. So what the gentleman is simply going to do is lift his left hand, which lifts the lady's right arm, and he's going to guide her underneath with the hand on her back, and then he'll spin her back again and bring her back into that basic step. When you come back into the basic step, you're always going to start at the beginning with the gentleman's left foot back and the lady's right foot forward. So it's always going to come, even if we have to pause for half a second to get back on beat, we're kind of here, and then we start back into that. That way you guys are always in sync, not stepping on each other's toes. That's just kind of the general standard, is to come back into that basic. So once again, gentlemen, you'll lift your right arm, guide the lady under with the hand on her back, bring her back underneath, and come back in. Pardon? Moves is from the side-by-side base, which is going to be a hold just like this. So instead of facing each other, we're side-by-side. It's that simple and straightforward. So the side-by-side basic is a little different, but it's the exact same foot count. So for the guys, you're almost doing the exact same steps. Ladies, it's a little different, I'm sorry. So you're going to take your outside foot and touch back, and then step on that foot, kick with your middle foot, and then step back on your middle foot. So it's a touch, step, kick, step. So first we're going to kind of tell you how to get into that, and then we'll go ahead and pair up and we'll work on that step more. So gentlemen, for this step, your right arm, is going to be around the lady's back, and your fingers on her side here. It's kind of an arm bar. It keeps her next to you. There's a lot of contact there where you can do some of the different moves that we're going to teach here throughout the lesson. Ladies, your left hand is going to be on his right shoulder. Make sure that you don't put it all the way around to the other shoulder, because when we go to do a move later where you turn, you're just going to kind of get caught, or turn here. It's just, you need to make sure that your hand is on the shoulder. Just trust me for that.
And your elbow needs to be behind his arm. If your elbow is up here, it's not going to be natural or comfortable or anything. So it needs to be behind, and then your fingers are now in the front
of his shoulder. A good rule of thumb is if it's really uncomfortable, you might be doing something wrong, and ask somebody for help. If you guys can kind of pair up to help demonstrate around the room, that'd be awesome. And Aaron, if you can with Julie. Aaron, sorry.
And Aaron.
So if you can go ahead, gentlemen, step back into that circle like you did before, and ask a lady to dance, and go ahead and try to get in this hold. You'll notice that our front hands are doing nothing. They're just kind of dangling here. We'll use them later, but for now we're just kind of next to each other. So now that most of us are partnered up, we're going to go ahead and do that. It's going to be back on your outside foot with that touch.
That way. Turn this way.
Touch back on your outside foot, step forward, kick with your inside, and step back on your inside. And it keeps the exact same beat as we used before. So it's a touch, step, kick, step, touch, step, kick, step, touch, step, kick, step. Just remember, it's the outside foot that touches back. So ladies, the footwork winds up being a little bit different for you.
So the lady's left foot should be the one that's kicking. If you're not partnered up with someone, your left foot is the one that should be kicking, ladies.
So we're going to go ahead and start music, and we'll come around and help you. All right, so people keep asking, and Abby said she thinks it's driving everybody nuts that you don't know how to get in and out of this. So because of that, we're going to rearrange the order of the lesson and teach you how to get it in and out of side-by-side from that basic, and then we'll go ahead and teach some more moves in side-by-side. So when you're in the basic hold here, that basic ballroom hold, and you're taking the steps, there are probably half a dozen different ways to get into side-by-side. We're going to teach one that's pretty simple for starters. And that's simply going to be doing the spin out that you did earlier, the spin back, and instead of pulling her straight into ballroom hold like we've done in the past, we're going to pull and kind of turn and meet in side by side, and then you'll just fall right into that basic. So when you're pulling her into side by side, one subtle difference is instead of pulling her straight towards you, you're actually going to pull and push her arm a little bit. So you're going to kind of pull and stop, push her. That's naturally going to turn her shoulders. And then, gentlemen, another really big lead that she will see visually is you turning your shoulders and catching her here. It would be weird if she came in straight when I turn my shoulders. So that's a visual lead, and this is her body cue, is the arm to turn her, and you catch here. When you catch, you just start right at the beginning of that side-by-side basic, touching back like we just did, and then going into
You will, as he kind of turns you, you're going to let go when you get here. Your hands do not stay held because that will lead into something else.
Yes.
So you'll let go.
So that's one key with side-by-side is when you're just in the basic, you drop that front hand because a lot of the moves we will teach, the signal that something's coming is taking her hand. So you want to have it dropped so that you're able to take it. So go ahead and rotate partners again and get into that ballroom hold. And then we're going to play some music, and you'll practice doing those two spins and coming back into side-by-side. Yes, I know that right now you don't know how to get back to the basic hold. We'll get there in a second. All right, so we're just going to teach, just stay with your partner right now. This is very simple. It's just how to get back from side by side to the basic, and we'll just pull the music right back up. You can practice that a little bit. So we're in side by side, right? You know how to get here now. So how do you get back to the basic? Well, it's simple as doing moves in reverse. You're going to offer the lady your hand. You're going to spin her out from side by side, spin her back, and then just pull her straight into the basic step here. Reminder, when you go into that basic step, gentlemen, you're always starting at the beginning with your left foot back. Ladies, your right foot is forward. So you're in side by side here. You're doing the basic. At any given point, gentlemen, you just offer her your hand. You spin her out, spin her back, and then just pull her straight back into ballroom and start at the beginning. So obviously, you don't want to do that step all over. So you're going to ask for the lady's hand. That is not the start of a move. That's just the signal that a move is coming. That just gives her a heads up. Something is going to change. So you ask for her hand. You've been doing the basic step here. And then what's going to happen is you're going to turn and do some kicks together. Yes, I'll explain how to do this. So you're in the basic step here. Gentlemen, you ask for her hand. And what's going to happen is right after you kick forward, you're going to take the arm that's on her back and slide it to the other side so you can turn her. You'll both step and kick through with your opposite foot. So it's a step, kick, and you're both kicking the same way the whole time. Now, when you come here, you're opening up and kicking. When you come back, gentlemen, catch her back on the side. Ladies, touch his shoulder so you kind of can stay in unison. That'll really help you stay on beat and kind of keep that connection. And then when you're done kicking like this, because you also don't want to do this forever, gentlemen, you're going to scoop her up. What I mean by that is you're going to take this arm and just catch her all the way across, back in that arm bar like you had for the side-by-side basic. And there's no physical way she could try to turn and kick. There's no way she can turn and kick here. So it's a very obvious lead.
The guy needs to step out.
So
Oh, no, it's not.
So once again, so you're in the side-by-side basic here. Gentlemen, you ask for her hand. As you kick forward, you pull that arm around from the back to the front here, and you're going to keep catching her right on her inside side as long as you want to keep kicking, and then you scoop her up to the back when you want to be done, and you drop that hand when you come back to the basic here. So the next move is right out of that move. So we've been kicking the same direction repeatedly, over and over, and now we kind of want to do it going opposite directions. So the gentleman is going to kick twice, one direction, and that will get you going opposite directions. All right, so what that actually looks like, all the steps of that, is it's the move that you just did, so I'm not going to go over that again. But gentlemen, when you're facing out, when you're opened up, so it's not when you're closed back here, but when you're opened up, kicking with your left foot, you're going to touch and kick again as she goes back that way. Now you're facing opposite directions. You've got your hands in the middle, and you're going to kind of spring off of those hands a little bit to turn and kick opposite direction.
It is not a high five. It should not make noise.
Yes, that is very true. It's just enough tension. It really will help you kind of keep that beat and balance coming off of that. Now, when you're done with this and you want to go back to kicking the same way, gentlemen, you're going to kick twice with your left foot again and just take her back to that basic.
When he kicks twice that last time, the lady's hand is going to catch on the back of his hand
So
because you know he's staying that direction, so you know that's what he's going to do. So you'll catch on the back of his hand, and then we'll both turn in, and the hand will flip around, and then we'll just let go.
So that's the lady's right hand, the gentleman's left hand in the middle here, and that just makes it easier to turn, and then as we fall into that basic, we're going to drop that hand. I'm going to go over it once more because it's a lot of information, and then we'll give it a try. So we're doing the basic, and we start kicking the same direction like we were earlier. Then the gentleman's going to kick twice with his left foot, and then you're in those alternating kicks.
Keep your arm nice and firm when you're going back and forth like this. If you're just kind of floppy, it's just going to make a mess.
And it's going to make it a lot harder for the gentleman to lead his next move. So then, gentlemen, you'll kick twice with your left foot to get back, and you scoop her back up into that arm bar to come into the basic. It's very simple, and this is also, consequently, another way to get out of side-by-side and back into that basic. So we're doing the side-by-side basic here, that basic step that we've kind of been doing that we're building this all off of. This is one move where the gentleman is not going to signal the lead by taking the lady's hand. He's simply just going to do the move. So what the move is just kind of casting off and catching here. The way that's led is all in this back arm. Gentlemen, you're basically going to roll her off with that back arm, and you'll catch hands around and come back into ballroom. Now, if you're thinking this through in your head, you would also know that you could come back in to side-by-side because we know how to do both from here. If you didn't follow that, don't freak out. Just pull her back in to that basic step. So you're in that side-by-side, and gentlemen, you can really do this cast-off is what we call it, whenever, but a lot of times it's easiest to do it after you've done both outside steps and you're kicking forward because your momentum's already taking you that way to come around. So you're kind of doing the steps with your outside feet. You kick, cast around, and bring her back into that ballroom hold.
Don't fully try to kick or you will lose your balance.
Yeah, it's not a big, huge like that. We have a lot of fun. So
beautiful.
Here in the song, we're going to teach one more move that, whether you realize it or not, you actually already know. So when you're in side-by-side, it's the move is just simply doing a spin, which is consequently what we use to get out of side-by-side, right? So it's just a little review of that spin here. So quick review of what we've learned so far. So we learned that basic step in ballroom hold. We learned how to walk with it by applying more pressure, less pressure on the lady's back. We learned how to spin out of ballroom hold and bring it back to ballroom hold. And we learned how to spin out of ballroom hold and get into side-by-side. We learned that side-by-side basic here in side-by-side. We learned how to do kicks facing the same direction, where you catch the lady each time here. And then we learned how to do alternating kicks, where the gentleman's going to kick twice with his left foot to get into it, and twice again to get out of it, and scoop the lady up back into that side-by-side basic. We learned how to get out of side-by-side with the spins, where you're just going to spin the lady under, back, and bring her back into ballroom. And we learned how to do the cast-off from side-by-side, which is what we just did, where we're here. And then after that kick, you kind of cast her off, catch her, and you can bring her back to ballroom or bring her back to side-by-side. Let's just kind of really quick, I know, review. All right, so this next set of moves is called Tandem. And so we're going to do the exact same basic step that we've been doing, but the girl's back is now going to be to the gentleman. So you're going to still be in that basic step where you're touching with your left, step with your left, except for now, instead of the girl starting halfway through with her right foot, she's going to start at the exact same spot as you, where you both go back on your left, and then forward, and then touch right and back. So you kind of got that basic step down. One thing I will say that you'll find helpful is allow your arms to move together. Obviously, she cannot see you, gentlemen, so don't hold your arms really stiff and just try to step, because like I have no idea what her feet are doing now. It's really impossible for us to stay on beat. But if we let our arms swing a little bit, then it's easy for us to stay on beat, and you'll notice that your arms kind of go with your legs, and so if you get off beat, it's real easy to catch back up with those arms kind of moving in that same pattern.
And
so
you don't want to be too far away, because if you're way back here, or up here, I guess, you're not going to know, like the arms can't really swing, it's very uncomfortable, and then you're not going to be able to do any other moves because there's no slack in your arms. So you want to be kind of close. You'll take small steps, and girls, your elbows should be pointed down. They should not be out, because you're going to stab him
you'll wind up nailing him
rib.
in the rib cage. She really likes demonstrating that. So, but yes, guys, you want to take small steps. You don't want to give the girl a flat kind of on her shoes hitting her feet. It's just kind of a small step here. You got that bounce to it, and moving a bit with your arms. Just remember that's the exact same basic step. With your hands, gentlemen, you're just simply going to place your hands kind of flat out here, and the lady is going to put her palms on your fingers and then curl her fingers around yours, so you kind of have good firm handhold there. And then she doesn't even know I'm not moving my feet right now. But then you keep doing that basic step there. So to get into tandem now, we're going to do it. There are a lot of different ways to do it, but we're going to teach you to do it from a spin. So you could do this from a spin in ballroom, which is what we're going to demonstrate. You can also just do it from any other spin, like out of side by side as well. You're going to spin the lady out like you normally would. Then you're going to take this right hand, gentlemen, and take her right hand and give her another half spin to turn her around. So then you'll be in that tandem hold here. So you were facing each other or in side by side, and you did the spin out, and then you take her hand and spin her again. Ladies and guys too, one thing to notice is the lady is always spinning the same direction. So she's spinning underneath, and then she keeps spinning that way. You don't want to do it as fast as we just did. We did that to demonstrate that she just keeps going the same direction. You'll kind of want to do it almost as two parts to a move, so it's a spin, and then that half spin to get her back into that tandem position.
But the girl's motion will continue the same way that it was, so it'll feel pretty natural just as you do it.
When you land in tandem, you're always going to start at the beginning of that basic step with your left foot back. So it's always starting there. It's not starting halfway through or anything like that. So I just realized something that I forgot to mention that's very important for this. So when you're doing the spin, you do the one spin, and then you're going to go to do the half spin. Ladies, make sure you're ready here to catch his hand to turn around. Don't act as if you're going to go do a whole spin, because then he's going to try to get your hand, and it's just not going to work so well. So you want to remember, so you're doing a full spin, he's going to switch hands, and then catch this hand as it comes underneath here. So as she's coming under, you'll catch those hands and flip around into tandem. Were you guys able to see that over here? I'll do it again one more time. So you're spinning out, you switch hands, and then you catch that other hand underneath here as you flip so that you can wind up in tandem. All right, resume. Good job. All right, so obviously that's how you get into tandem. You want to know how to get out of it, I'm sure. So we'll go ahead and teach you how to get out of it. So you're in tandem here, and you're going to get out of it just with a spin. So gentlemen, you're going to lift up your left arm, and the lady's left arm will consequently lift up as well. And you're just going to slide her underneath and spin her out. You're going to have to switch hands here and pull her back into that ballroom hold. So you just lift your left hand, slide her underneath and out, switch hands and back into ballroom hold there, and then you'll start right back into that basic. So that's how you would get out of tandem. And so then when you're back in that basic, remember all you need to do is spin her out, and just like we just did, to come back here.
And
so,
when you go to get out, the guy will take this hand just to pull it back up here. He's
yes,
not going to keep holding it. It's just kind of guiding it.
It just kind of guides it back. It's just, that's almost not essential, but it just kind of is a good way to catch and come back, because you might not get this hand right away. Depending, every guy is going to lead a little bit differently. I'm sure you girls have figured that out. And guys, every girl's going to follow a little bit differently. So you kind of figure out what you need to do to be able to lead it so you communicate well.
And don't be afraid to, like, nicely say something to the other person. Like, if they try to lead something, you know, if the guy tried to lead something and you didn't feel it at all, you know, just say, like, I couldn't really feel that, you know, maybe you could do it a little bit firmer, you know, or if the girl does something, you know, and the guy's like, oh, I think, you know, it's this way. Like, you guys can help each other. That'll make it a lot easier. Don't be afraid to talk to the other person.
We're all learning it, so, well, we're not, but y'all are learning it, and so it's just a process that everybody can learn it together. Alrighty, good job. I know it's kind of a little getting used to it. We're going to switch gears a little bit into just kind of a hodgepodge, if I can use that fun word, of different moves. So this move is going to be from back into the basic hold. So we kind of taught you the basic ballroom hold already, and side by side, and tandem. And those are kind of the three basic holds that all of the moves are going to be birthed off of one of those different holds. So this move is just a simple hand switch. It's going to come off of a turn. So you spin the lady underneath, and then all you're going to do is switch hands and walk around each other. You switch hands again behind your back, gentlemen, and bring her right back into ballroom hold.
The only hand that is used by the girl is the right hand. Your left hand should just stay down the whole time.
And ladies, you're not spinning on this one. We'll teach that in a minute, but you're not spinning. You're just walking around the gentleman. Gentlemen, all right, ladies, I need to apologize before I say this. Gentlemen, if you've ever passed a basketball around your back, that's kind of what it feels like passing her hand around your back, is you're just kind of passing it around your back, and then you bring her back in here.
He has way too much fun with these jokes.
Ladies, you're much prettier than a basketball, I promise. So, you're just kind of coming around there. Gentlemen, one other note. Don't make her do all the work for this. You could bring her around this way, but that's not very nice. You need to walk and do some of the turn as well. So you're doing the hand switch here, you're walking, you're turning, and you meet here. So we started, like I started facing the clock, she started facing the stage. When it's all said and done, we both did a half turn. I'm facing the stage, she's facing the clock. If it's not an exact half turn, don't freak out. But she shouldn't do all the work where I'm facing the stage the whole time and she has to come all the way back around.
Although he does have fun demonstrating that.
Yes, does anybody see that again? All right, I didn't think so. Oh, maybe. Nope. All right, so. Good job with that move. The next move is essentially the same thing. It just has a little spin added to it.
Literally.
Literally, yes. So it's the hand switch here that we just did. You're going to switch hands like you're used to, and then the lady is just going to come under and spin as you go around. So gentlemen, all that lead is you're taking your right hand and you're kind of allowing her to spin underneath your arm as you guys rotate around. And then you bring her back into that ballroom.
Depending on the heights, the girl may need to bend down, the guy may need to go up on his toes a little bit. Try not to whack your arm on the girl's head. It will not be comfortable, speaking from experience.
And the more height difference is, the more important this is to not get all the way out here and try to do it, because it's not the easiest thing to do, but to kind of be closer so that she's passing underneath and going around. You're almost going to naturally find that sometimes you both go up on your toes a minute to get around like that. Alrighty, good job everybody. Alright, So the next move is pretty simple. You've kind of already done the precursor to it, but it's instead of just taking the lady and doing one single spin, you can do multiple spins in a row. The way you're going to do that is anytime that you would do a spin, it could be from here, it could be from side by side, you're going to spin her out, and you'll notice that I'm spinning her and I'm using all of my fingers. That's just one spin, that's just natural, and we can easily come back here. If I tried to use all of my fingers for multiple spins, our arms are gonna get twisted and it's never gonna work. She needs something to be able to revolve around. So one finger, it's kind of the one finger rule. So when we get into the multiple spins, I give her one finger and she can revolve around one finger. Now, the first rule is, gentlemen, unless you know the lady you're dancing with,
And she's okay with you doing
with it, don't lead more than 3 spins, because it can be a lot for people to handle as far as dizziness, especially depending on if they know how to spot or not.
If you start to lose the guy's finger, stop spinning. You will fall over. It happened last night while we were practicing.
Yes. So please spin responsibly. That's what we're saying. All right. So you spin her out once, and then a couple more times with that finger, and then when you're done spinning her, all you're doing is you're bringing that arm down and pulling her back in to ballroom hold or side by side. So once again, it's just like a normal spin where you're lifting your arm up and you spin her underneath, but you're just doing it a couple more times and bringing her arm back down.
Girls, you need to stay close to the guy. If you're way out here trying to do it, it's not going to happen. The guy also has to walk with the girl as she moves.
Yes, gentlemen, a lot of ladies, a few ladies may stay in the same spot. A lot of them will find it natural to move a little bit, and so you need to walk with her and not just try to stay here and she gets all the way over there. We are going to teach a little bit more of a complex move now, but it's a lot of people's favorite, or one of their favorite, one that they like. This is a move from Tandem. So I know we didn't teach much from Tandem earlier. This is a fun move you can do from Tandem. This is called the E, because somebody made it up and they don't want their name to be mentioned. You know who you are. All right, so the way this is going to start is like the spin out of Tandem, but you're now going to catch your partner's hand over top. Then you're both going to spin underneath. You catch your partner's hand underneath. Then you're doing the basic step here, and when you're ready, you can flip right back into Tandem and start back in that Tandem basic. So it's kind of got a lot of steps to it.
We'll go slower.
You can do it as fast or slow as you want. So you're starting in Tandem. Gentlemen, you'll lift her left arm up and slide her underneath like you did for the turn. Then this bottom.
If you guys want to do this, I see these 4 couples doing it with us. If you guys want to pair up with somebody and do it slowly with us, that might help, because this one's kind of complicated.
Yeah, go ahead and do that. And if you don't have somebody, like ladies, if you want to do it with another lady, this would be one that could be helpful.
Hey team, can you guys go to some of the ladies that don't have anybody? And Colleen and Aaron, can you guys go to girls and have them do this?
So you're in Tandem. So let's start from Tandem. Now that everybody's kind of pairing up. You slide her underneath like you did with the turn, under that left arm. Then you're going to drop right hands and catch them above. Then you're both going to turn underneath your right hand.
Let go of left.
You let go of your left hands as you turn. And then you'll catch your left hands underneath again. And then you'll flip her back into that Tandem. Complicated enough? All right, so we're back in Tandem again. You push her underneath the left, catch rights, both turn underneath the rights, catch lefts, and then you flip back into Tandem. Your footwork during that is kind of just whatever you need, and then when you get back to where you're facing each other, it's kind of on that basic, or you get back to Tandem and it's on that basic. We're actually going to teach some partner switches, so it's all the moves are stuff that you know, but it's just kind of a little different because you'll be able to choose which partners. So if you can kind of get back in our circle, our homeschool circle, as we can call it. It's the homeschool So if you can kind of file back in, this is something that you'll want to know is on the file.
Here's one rule with the partner switches. You always have to switch back.
Yeah, so this is not a speedy way to cut in when somebody's dancing and just run off with their partner. If they were already dancing together, so it's kind of, you'll see it takes the two guys' agreement to switch, and then be courteous and switch partners back. So, Aaron, if you can, there we go. Alright, so for the first partner switch, you and your partner are here. The other partner, the guy's left shoulders are facing into each other. That's the only way this will work. If our right shoulders were in towards each other, it would not work. So we're doing the basic step here in ballroom, which we all probably know pretty well by now. And what's going to happen is we're going to make some sort of nod or eye contact or subtle idea. A lot of times when you're dancing, you're not going to be lined up like this, so that's a good start. But we'll make some sort of nod, and then we're going to spin the lady out and do a hand switch. And look at that, we all of a sudden ended up with a new partner. So it's all moves that you know how to do. You know how to spin her out, and you know how to do just a simple hand switch. And then you're basically just going to run into your new partner. You do those two moves right, and we can keep doing that as long as our left shoulders are together. If it was our right shoulder facing each other, and we tried to do that, we'd spin her out. They kind of run into each other in the center for partner switch, and nobody would have anywhere to go. So it's real important that the guy's left shoulders are in towards each other. Alright, I know that was really quick, I'm sorry. There's one more partner switch that it'll be easy to do. So go ahead and stay with your partner and stay with your other couple so that we can kind of do this timely. So the other partner switch, so say that we just did that partner switch here. So we did a spin, we switched partners, and now we're here. Another way that we can switch partners is by opening up in the side-by-side here. And now we're facing each other. And all that's going to happen is we're going to give some sort of communication and literally just walk forward, take your new partner, and start. It's literally that simple. The one step that you need to know that you don't know right now is how to get from this ballroom hold to side-by-side. That also is very simple. When you're doing the basic step here, as the gentleman, after the gentleman steps forward with his right foot, lady is stepping back on your left, you're going to simply open up here, so that you're kind of pivoting on that foot. If anybody plays basketball, you know what a pivot foot is. And then you're going to both kind of naturally fall back on this outside foot and fall right into that side-by-side basic that we did earlier.
If you think about the foot steps in numbers, it's easier for me at least. So the first one, 1, 2, 3 is where you're opening up.
So after you take that first step, you turn back, open up, and then go into that side-by-side. One thing to make sure is when you open up into that, it might feel a little bit natural to go back and put all your weight on this, but realize that the next step you need to take is with this foot, and so if all your weight's there, it's kind of really hard to get it up. So you want to just take that touch and step forward to go in that side.
If you put a little weight on it, it's okay, but you don't want to step all the way because then it's going to be too hard to get back.
So we'll go over that one more time. So you're in the basic step here. We're both going to open up and side by side on that first step. So 1, 2, 3, and we open. Now we're doing the side by side basic. We're going to make some sort of signal, walk forward, and take our new partner. Now you'll notice that right now we're both right shoulder to right shoulder. So you may have to dance a little bit and do some spins or whatever, and then eventually we're going to get back where we're left shoulder to left shoulder, and that will enable us to do either partner switch. We can do the one we just did, or we can open up and do the side by side. All right, so go ahead.